And these are glass, so just be careful with them. I had a couple break last year. Don't push too hard either. Have a hard time getting them out. All right. So this is the way that your spinal needle will typically come. So you have your covering, okay? Bevel, we always inspect, right, before we inject or insert. This is your stylet. This stays in when you insert. Before you remove your needle, it goes back in when you pull out. So when you're advancing slowly, you're gonna take it out, check for return. Put it back in, advance, take it out and check for return. Okay. So that's your needle. Like I said, this is your tubing. This is where we're gonna pretend like this is the patient's body over here. So this is inserted in the back. We're gonna connect the tubing next, the cock stop next, and then the manometer. And this is where you're gonna get that opening pressure read. Okay, so let's redo that. Let's set this up. And then we're gonna go over how to use this. Okay, so this is kind of how I had it set up before. So I'm gonna leave this on just so I don't stick myself. This is just an extra piece for the top. Hopefully you never have a patient where like you need to use that, but it is there in case you do need it. So the way that this stopcock works is, so you have one long end and 3 short ends. The short ends are your flow points. So wherever the short ends are pointing, that's where you're gonna get flow from. Wherever the long end is pointing, it's like that part does not even exist, okay? So if I want CSF to flow from the patient directly into the manometer, I need a short end and a short end. So what we do is we turn this. So I have free flowing here. There's nothing down here. Free flowing here, up there. So it's like this part doesn't exist. So CSF is gonna go this way.
Could you also put this part down?
Which part down?
Like this?
It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't go that way?
Yeah, I don't think that it might go down this way. No, it doesn't go down that way. Probably because there's usually nothing there anyways. Yep, and so there is a little off button. So off, and it has an arrow pointing that way. So that part doesn't exist. If, let's say, I want to collect specimen, like the video said, from the manometer into a tube, I'm going to pretend like this part doesn't exist. So it's going to be free flowing from the manometer into my tube. Okay, does that make sense? If I don't want the manometer portion and I want to collect directly from the patient to the tube, off towards there, and it's like that part doesn't exist, and so it's free flowing. So short end's free flowing, the long end is off, and like I said, it does say off, but sometimes that can get confusing. Okay, does anyone have any questions for me about that? And then you guys can practice this too, so I'll leave this out. There's another tray there. You guys need to practice kind of setting this up just so you know the steps, okay? And I'll be floating around too to help you.